I mean, merging two lots like this, giving city alleyways, I mean, we've done something like that before? It's gonna be like the first time, or?
Have we ever merged two lots and given up a city alleyway in the past?
Not since I've been here. I was always told you never give up your alleys, but we're only giving up such a small portion.
But it looks like to me, we pretty much already given it up. Isn't that true?
I'm sorry.
We pretty much be already giving it up, what it looked like to me.
Well, we don't use it. We
Yeah.
don't use it, we don't rock it.
Yeah, we don't use it, we don't maintain
It
it.
looked like it's all grass to me. It's like a pretty nice lawn.
And they're supposed to be putting a real nice building when they get their funds.
Oh, great. So I'll make a motion that we approve the request of the Church of Christ to vacate the 75-foot of alley, the 200 block of North Fourth Street.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second motion.
Have a motion and a second to approve the Church of Christ request to vacate 75-foot of alley in the 200 block of North 4th Street. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 4-2. Next is a motion to authorize the disposal of surplus property.
Yeah, these are the, this is the property that we wanted to dispose of, the F-150 pickup truck, the infrared machine, and then there is a lot of connectors that are no longer usable because of the lead ordinance that we passed a few weeks ago. So we'd like to dispose of those as one big lot. Those are the three items.
What do you mean by dispose? Are you wanting to sell
To
it?
sell them. The F-150 will sell at whatever we can get for it. Same would be true with the infrared machine. Putting those up on websites or markets, however we can get a return on those. The last items we would sell as scrap. They're not usable. They can't be used.
I have a motion or questions? Alderman Billington.
I'll make a motion, we approve the request to dispose of equipment and inventory as listed.
Have a motion, I'll second.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to approve the disposal of equipment and inventory as listed. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Next is a motion to authorize the submittal of application for the Recreational Trails Program Grant.
This again is from our workshop. One thing that we did talk about the other night was looking at getting engineers to possibly engineer this project. Freddie Wells, Ms. Wells, is looking at getting 3 proposals. She had one as of 3 o'clock today, and I'm waiting for the other 2 before I present those to the board. That was one of the things that we discussed the other night at the workshop. But this is for us to continue to move forward on this project.
Any questions? Questions or a motion? Alderman Conklin.
Mr. Mayor, I would move that we authorize submittal of the application for the Recreational Trails Program Grant.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to authorize the submittal of the application for the Recreational Trails Program Grant. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Next is Resolution 2015-13, resolution of the City of Odessa, Missouri, approving the change order number 2 for Terra Firm Construction for City Lake spillway repairs. This is the resolution for your approval.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2015-13.
Have a motion, have a second.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2015-13. Is there any discussion?
Has any of the work started?
Is any of the work started?
No.
Mr. King?
Not yet.
Okay, I don't think so.
Are we hopeful that we can complete in a month?
Are we hopeful that we can?
We are. I attempted to contact the contractor today, wasn't able to. I'm going to try to keep doing that and keep your public works director up to date on that. Other than last Thursday, things have been drying out, so he should be able to get started. I'm trying to get in contact with him and get an update on the schedule at this time.
Should we include change order number 2 on that motion? I mean, the resolution's already been approved, we're approving change order number 2, correct?
Is this the same resolution as the original? It's listed in the actual resolution. Is I'm understanding that correct?
Attachments.
So I'm just looking at it, it's been resolution 2015-13 through the whole time.
We can amend it if you.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Well,
this should be.
inside the resolution itself, it says attachments resolution for change order number 2 document.
I'm just asking, I just wanted to be.
I don't know.
Why don't you want to make a motion to amend it to add change order 2?
I'll make a motion that we amend the motion to include change order number 2.
Have a motion to amend. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second
Have a motion and a second to amend the main motion to add change order number 2 to the original motion. Is there any questions on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment? All right, we're back to the main motion, now to include change order number 2, resolution 2015-13, resolution for the city to approve change order number 2. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, oh, go ahead.
Just one, Mr. Mayor. And once again, we're not defining additional modifying time.
It modifies
Yeah.
the time to the 15th of October.
That's.
No additional expenses, that's, yep.
Correct, that's.
That's the only thing that's changing is the addition of time. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Next is Resolution 2015-14, resolution of the City of Odessa, Missouri, amending an agreement with Larkin, Lamp, Ranierson, approved January 12, 2015 for development of a facility plan that will evaluate the wastewater treatment system. This is a resolution for your approval.
Make a motion that we approve resolution 2015-14.
Have a motion, have a second. Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2015-14. Is there any discussion?
So again, this is just time, no money? And what kind of date are we looking at?
We have the draft reports to distribute to the Board of Aldermen this evening for your all's review. And then Greg will schedule a work session to complete the review, because you've seen a portion of it. Okay? And after that, and it goes to DNR for approval. And so we're looking probably towards the end of January, February for final distribution.
Tentative, if I'm reading it correct, the tentative schedule is on page 124. If I'm reading that correctly, that's what I read.
The public meeting in January, February 2016. That completes the grant requirements.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Next is Resolution 2015-15, resolution of the City of Odessa, Missouri, entering into an agreement with Clark and Lambrand-Earson for design, engineering, and construction management of Phase 1 improvements consisting primarily of filter replacement and peak flow storage lagoon modification at the Southeast Wastewater Treatment Plant. Resolution for your approval.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution 2015-15.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2015-15. Any discussion?
This is simply the follow-up to what we did in our last meeting, improving the purposes of the voters. Yes.
Any other discussion?
This is, we're approving just for buying the filters. For the engineering of this, or,
It's the
I
design.
do not understand.
This, as we discussed during the work session a few weeks ago, it's the filter replacement and the modifications to the peak flow storage. And it's design, bidding, and construction phase engineering.
So we're approving the actual
Right, the engineering-
modification of that lagoon.
For the lagoon and the filters, yes.
Well, that isn't what, that's why I don't understand about this. The paragraph down here, it says, upon approval of the lagoon closure plan, there will be additional design, engineering, and construction management presented as an amendment to this agreement, which means to me it's going to charge more money. So what you just said is all inclusive.
This engineering is to construct the peak flow, to make it small, to construct a smaller part. Then that larger part still has the sludge in it that has to be disposed of. And we're working on the closure plan for all three lagoons. That was a separate project, a separate study, the closure plan. That's not yet completed. There's some more testing that has to be done to complete that. But once that is completed, to dispose of that part that will no longer be used, that will be an extra cost. So this fee is designed for the smaller peak flow storage basin. And then to close the part that you'll no longer be using will be an additional at a later date after the closure plan is completed.
Okay, but it also says in here, the peak flow storage is suggested to be constructed as part of the lagoon closures. So how do you separate that out?
Our hope is, what we're hoping to do is once that closure plan is approved, is merge that into this project so that you can construct the peak flow and do the closure at the same time. But at this point, since the closure plan hasn't been completed yet, we don't know that cost yet. We're still doing some testing on the sludge out there.
Okay, so the peak flow storage is included in the price on this.
Yes, sir. And then
But
if,
anything beyond that is not.
yes, we're hoping to get the closure plan done and approved so that we can merge that together and you can bid them as one. We think that will be more economical. But we have to finish that closure plan first.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Kendall, appreciate it. Next is bill number 2015-13, ordinance number 2906, an ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the budget of the city of Odessa, Missouri for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2016, and providing for adjustments thereof. This is the first reading only for your approval.
Make a motion that we approve first reading of bill number 2015-13, ordinance number 2906.
Motion on second.
Second.
Alderman Carmody seconds bill number 2015, first reading. Any discussion? All right.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just like to point out, there were some changes to the park piece of it that haven't gone before our board yet.
Why haven't they? Is there, are we anticipating an issue with?
I don't anticipate an issue, no. But the budgets that we have approved previously have been altered, and so they need to go back before my board for final approval. But I don't see an issue with it.
Okay. And your meeting's scheduled Tuesday next week?
Yes,
Okay. And this is on it?
yes.
Okay. Thank you. Have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Alderman.
So what was included in that, that reduction in the water fund?
Well, that was the original contract that we thought was going to be $135,000.
That's right.
And it was reduced by $100,000.
Thank you.
So that's what the 102,670 is, right? So does this budget still have the drives and stuff in it? Bypass?
Yes, it does.
So didn't we, seemed like we asked for something for that.
What we received.
I brought information at our last board meeting about the rental
Information we
fees.
received at
Right.
the meeting.
But I don't think we ever,
I don't think we've ever discussed it.
that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
We asked a lot of questions, but we didn't resolve anything. Right.
Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? 6-0. Alderman Stevens, were you in favor or opposed?
Opposed, please.
You opposed, okay, 5-1. All right, next is the city administrator's report. Mr. Airy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board of Aldermen. This week I'll be attending quite a few conferences. On Wednesday, I'm going to attend the Kansas City Area Development Council. It's a breakfast meeting. And then later in the day, I'll be leaving for the Missouri Public Utilities Association annual meeting and hearing from that group. Then also next week is the Missouri Municipal League Annual Conference. And so I'll be attending these conferences over the next few days. Other things that I just wanted to bring you up to speed. We're getting ready to put another notice into the Odessen for the trapping of the muskrats at the city reservoir. And we'll be conducting a lottery and working with the Department of Conservation on that event. The curbing has been removed at Montgomery Street. That's been a question that's been raised before. The curbing is scheduled to be replaced sometime this week. Just we're lining everything up with our engineers and with the construction observation. That concludes my report for tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions for the city administrator? Oh, hang on just a second.
Someplace in there didn't say or report that we got the report back from FEMA, and can we move forward on the McDowell Street?
We're still waiting. Ms. McCoy and Mr. Conway attended a meeting of SEMA and FEMA, and there's still some information that we need to gather, and so they're in the process of doing that.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to know what the process was for McDowell Street as well. So I had seen something about the approval of this and where we were standing with getting funding or what we were going to do to move forward with that.
And again, it has been engineered. Our engineers have looked at it, and they've given us a cost estimate, but we're just waiting on SEMA and FEMA.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Make a motion to return to closed session in compliance with RSMO 610.021 subsection 3.
Have a motion, have a second.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn to closed session. Voice vote.
Alderman Bellington?
Yes.
Alderman Lockhart?
Yes.
Alderman Henning?
Yes.
Alderman Wright?
Yes.
Alderman Harmony?
Yes.
Alderman Stevens?
Yes.
All right, we'll take a very brief recess and then be in closed session. Thank you.